Um, Also, we are done at this time with public comments. We're going to move on to announcements and presentations, and I'm going to take it out of order and go to item B and receive presentation from Senator Josh Becker regarding Sacramento update. As you know, uh, this is our state senator at Sacramento, and I can tell you firsthand that he has been busy, and it's like, you run hard, you win, and then he has been running since and working on quality of life issues, from housing to education, transportation, infrastructure. He's also doing a lot of work on the climate, and I've had a great opportunity to have a one-on-one with him and have conversation. And so I can tell you, he's been busy. He's been keeping us updated, and we appreciate him taking his time to be with us this evening. To just give us some updates, and a pleasure to have you. You're always welcome. But State Senator Becker, please, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you. I'm really grateful to all of you for having me here today. It was a rush, made it sort of just in time. Had my water polo game, away game up at Burlingame today, and at high school, so it was a lot of fun, and made it just in time. So I really appreciate you being with, having me here today. Yeah, Sacramento, it was my first session, and it was a really eventful one. And as I like to say, when I got elected, we were projecting a $50 billion deficit, and we ended up with a $75 billion surplus. So I feel like I did a pretty good job my first year. And yeah, it's a little bit of a joke, but yes, we did a great job. But the question was, how are we going to spend this surplus? And we really spent a lot of our time dealing with budget issues, and the issues that we're focused on were quality of life, as the mayor said, education, housing, including homelessness, transportation, infrastructure issues. And so that's what I focused on. My very first bill that the governor signed was a bill that was brought to me by the city of Belmont, but it's really on behalf of all of our smaller cities on the peninsula. I represent 23 cities, all less than 150,000 in population. And this bill was to allow smaller cities to team up to compete better for SB1 funds. What is SB1? This is the highway funds that came from the gasoline tax, and allow us to compete better on projects like fixing El Camino, which obviously goes through many of our cities, or other shared roads like that. So that was really the intent of that bill, and that was my first bill that the governor signed. And since then, he's been signing more of them, including today a bill that I had on intergenerational affordable housing. Traditionally, affordable housing has been either, if you fund it, you can only fund it for older folks or for, say, transitional foster youth, right? So people that are quite young and, say, just transitioning out of the system, but folks of that age. And this will allow intergenerational affordable housing. So in a very contentious issue, this was something that was near unanimous, and the governor signed that today at a ceremony in Oakland, along with a couple other bills, and that was a very fun moment for me. But transportation infrastructure is going to be a big focus. I'm going to do a press conference with Congresswoman Eshoo here coming up in a couple of weeks to focus on now the federal infrastructure money that's hopefully going to pass very soon. How can we make sure the peninsula gets our fair share? We provide a great amount, about 20%, according to my staff's estimates, of the property tax for the state. And what do we get back from it? Not a lot of support, say, for our transportation needs. So whether it be great separation or other regional transportation infrastructure needs, how can we get more of that money here? So that'll be another big focus of mine. And then education, starting everything from early childhood education, where we made a massive investment. Is something I'm incredibly proud of. We went from a situation where California was frankly a laggard, I'd say one of the worst states really on early childhood education. And with this budget, every kid in California is going to get a year of preschool, and most low-income kids will get 2 years of preschool. So really quite extraordinary. We did it in a way that actually works with and preserves the existing structure, which was so people can have choice around preschools, and that was another big factor. And then we wanted to raise the wages for childcare workers, which have been way too low, and allow regional cost adjustments so that workers in this area, which are higher cost, can get paid more, say, than other childcare workers, say, in Riverside or Central Valley. And we were able to accomplish that. Very proud of that effort and raise wages in that sector. So a lot of focus on starting on early childhood education. The Big Lift, I was able to procure money directly, $1 million for the Big Lift, which is a San Mateo County program that many of you know, which is very focused on preschool, but then also intensive summer programs up to third grade, because we know that third grade reading level is critical. If you're not reading at grade level by third grade, it's very hard to catch up. Hold on, I'm gonna shut the door here. My dog is barking. You know that problem from Zoom meeting. So early childhood education was a big focus, and then K-12 education, record amount of monies for a school. Hopefully your district is feeling that and feeling some additional funding. I know it's in the midst of difficulty because everyone's stressed. There's not enough teachers, not enough substitutes, but we are providing a lot of additional funding. And I was talking to our superintendent, Nancy McGee. She said we couldn't even really have opened without that additional funding. So that's a big focus. And then lastly, higher education, both our community colleges and additional money for our community colleges. And many of you know, I was an adjunct professor at College of San Mateo, but also for CSUs and our UCs, and particularly more spots, people from this area feeling that, we'd really gone overboard with too many international students and not enough slots. We opened up 900 additional slots at each at each Berkeley, UCLA, and UCSD, and then more spots overall at all of the rest of the UCs as well. So that really has been a lot of focus. How do we use that both through legislation and through the budget to work on those quality of life issues, housing, transportation infrastructure, education. And I do want to mention when the mayor and I met, as he spoke about, he brought to the attention of trash. And a number of you were also on that mayor. I think the vice mayor was on that communication as well. And the homeless encampments in the same area around 380 and 280 and the off ramp. And we immediately went into action and were in touch with Caltrans, which, as you know, is a difficult agency to work with. Fortunately, we all know that. But they were responsive, and abatement was scheduled. I have not heard if that's been, well, I guess we were talking a little earlier. You said it's certainly better, but I think still work to do. But that's the kind of thing we want to do. I mean, that's what we're here for. So if you see issues like that in your community, please contact my office or contact your city council members here, and they will reach out to us and let us know that there's work that needs to be done. Because certainly with Caltrans, we all know we need to stay on top of them where that work does not get done. So thanks for letting me talk a little bit about that. Last topic I just mentioned was climate, as was mentioned earlier, is a big focus. And I will be representing California in the Glasgow in the climate change talks. And it's really a question of how can we do this? How can we move faster? And let's do it in a way that actually helps the economy, that helps create jobs. As we all know, solar costs have gone down 90% over the last 10 years as our state established programs like the Million Solar Roof Initiative. How can we do that for electric homes, for people who want to electrify their homes and other buildings? How can we provide those kinds of incentives so that we can all participate and we can move much faster to address climate change, which we have to do. And the droughts and the wildfires were both a sign of that. I've done town halls on both those topics. They're available on my website, and I'm happy to talk more about that as well. With that, I'll leave it there. Maybe take one or two questions if the council has any.
Any quick questions of the center so you can maybe have dinner? If not, you know what? We really want to appreciate and thank you very much for your time. And we know you've been busy. I guess the one question this council will ask, who won?
It was a very very close game. My daughter goes to Menlo Atherton. I played Burlingame, down 3-1, came back, won 8-6. So big win. That's a very good team as well. There's a lot of good water polo going on. I'm relatively new to the sport, but there's a lot of good water polo going on in our district.
Well, good, and pass on from the city council our congratulations to your daughter and her team. But again, thank you for being available. I know that I've never had a problem picking up the phone, and Nicole, who's also here, has been very supportive and helpful for us as well. So again, thank you. But try to enjoy the rest of your evening, what's left, and appreciate your time and being here with us tonight.
Sure. I just want to say the last thing, it was a great honor to be there at the groundbreaking for the new Aquatic Center. That's going to be fantastic, and just, again, hats off to the whole community for rallying and that whole process, and Leslie, my old classmate Leslie Hatamia, for her work with the foundation, and it was a really, really exciting moment. It was really, really an honor to be there with all of you. And that was my first groundbreaking. My first groundbreaking as state senator.
Well, you came to the right city then, and we appreciate it, Senator, and thank you again kindly.
Okay, take care, everyone.
Have a good evening. All right, we'll go back to announcements and presentations. We'll go up to item A. As of September 21st, 2021, 91.6% of the San Bruno community is vaccinated against COVID-19. The COVID-19 vaccine is free and available without an appointment. Visit myturn.ca.gov or call 833-422-4255. That's 833-422-4255 to find a convenient location near you. And this isn't listed, but I'm going to add an item. And I just wanted to say I did attend up in Sacramento the California League of Cities for the state of California representing San Bruno. But what also happened there was more important than me being there was that our city clerk, Melissa Thurman, was sworn in and assumed her new office as president of the City Clerks Association for the state of California. So on behalf of the city council and myself, congratulations, and we're here to support you. And I know you'll have your hands full, but I think that's great and well done. So, and proud to have you as the president and representing San Bruno too.